Now, at this point in time, completely sober from substances,
Yeah.
including caffeine?
Nah, I love caffeine. I'm gonna drink coffee till the day I die. My wife's Italian. We drink coffee at midnight.
Now, another person you mentioned throughout this conversation is a phrase you use, wife.
Yeah.
Now, again, figuratively speaking or literally speaking?
Well, it depends when this interview comes out. Our wedding is February 23rd, so I got engaged 1 year ago in August, and yeah, our wedding's coming up in February. So I don't know when this will come out, but I'm start using the term already.
And don't want to butcher her name, but care to share who that is?
Yeah, Lindsay Caskey. I won't even say her old last name. Lindsay Caskey.
Now, this is a public relationship between you two that is on social media and maybe some other avenues.
Yep.
But for you, what was your reasoning to go public about this relationship? Because there are some recording artists that keep their relationships private.
Yeah, those people are nerds. Like, when you love somebody and your life is public, you put on for people that you love. It's funny because we have through layers of friends, people that we know that like are dating somebody in the music industry and they don't want to be public about their relationship because they want to maintain this image that they're single. I could give any fucks about that stuff because all of this stuff is a mirage. You know, at the end of the day, your real family, the people that you love, those are the things that really fucking matter in your life. So I could give a fuck if the world thinks I'm single or any of that shit. Fuck all that. I got a wife. I love her. We're getting married. Like that's the people that I ride with. And so I don't know. It was a natural evolution of that just to share it. I mean, when you really like, I really love this girl. We've known each other for a long time. Like we're really best friends. When you love somebody like that, you don't care to keep it secret. You want to scream that shit, you know?
Now, tangent here. You mentioned there are some artists that may want to maintain a single look, even though they may be privately in a relationship with someone. Now, are these recording artists that you're alluding to, it's just a self-assessment, or even when you were signed back in those days, was there ever times where people in the music industry would instruct you to look single, even though you may have something going on behind the scenes?
Well, I don't doubt that happens. I'm sure it did. Like with Cash Money, that was a unique label situation because Cash Money is a really small label as far as how many people are really involved in it. It's like, you know, it's Bird, Slim, Vernon, like there's like 10 people. And so they never really gave me direction like that. They're really big on like follow the artist that you want to be, which is funny because the whole internet seems to think that Cash Money dictates what you do and shit when you're signed, but they're really like freeing about that. So I never really experienced that with them, but I have no doubt for sure that happens all the time in the industry because, you know, labels are just looking at what they think is more marketable, but again, what actually works in the world is always a little bit different than what people predict. And so, you know, it's a lot of that is those artists too, though. Like an artist that's coming up, they'll think that is going to benefit them because they want to have girl fan base and shit. But like, dude, people are coming to us for music. So, you know, you're not listening to my music to date me. You're listening to my music because it's genuine, because it impacts you. A girl can like your record if you're married, you know, all that shit is just, it's like an old model that needs to die.
Doesn't really add value.
Yeah, it doesn't add any value. Like, I don't know. I see no appeal in like trying to fake a Playboy image. I want people to know the real me, you know?
And in knowing the real you, when it came to this public relationship, do you initiate going public? Does she encourage you to go public about it?
We just talked about it. I mean, it was funny because we had known each other for a lot longer than the public's seen us. So to us, it was just like, we kind of knew people were going to be like, what the fuck at the time? And we just laughed about it and talked it. There wasn't any pressure from either side. I mean, her and I have had a connection for a really long time, so.
And care to share how you two met for the very first time?
Yeah, we met, well, what's crazy is that we've always kind of crossed paths in these weird ways that we didn't know about, like, you know, mutual connections or being at the same place. Like, we found those things out later, but the first time we really met, it was at I was like real early in my career, before Cash Money shit, I think. Maybe it was after. I was at house party video shoot thing in Tampa where I was like a featured artist on this record. And so there were lots of people there, girls and stuff like that. And I bumped into this girl, dropped her cup, and I pick up the cup. It's like a movie scene. I pick up the cup, and I'm like, is this yours? And she's like the only girl there that's not like trying to be a video girl. She's in like sweatpants and hoodie, and I don't know. We just knew we clicked. Like it was just instantly knew something was there. And yeah, that's how it all started. And
do you care to share the name of that song, Once Upon a Time, that...
I honestly don't remember. I don't even remember who the artist was. It was so long ago, dude. I'm not trying to shit on them. I like genuinely could not piece that together at all.
Now, you use the phrase, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good, you're good. I was just going to say I drank a lot of that time too, so I probably fucking can't remember their name.
Now, you use the phrase best friend. Did this start originally as a friendship and then gets to a romantic state at some point, or was it romantic?
No, it started out romantic, but the thing is, like, early on when we were being romantic, we just didn't put that like pressure on each other of like trying to date. We were both super young at the time. You know, she just knew I was just a young kid figuring it out. She was young. Like, we just never really came at each other with that like pressure of what are we? It was just never like that. But it's always been romantic in nature. And it was just last year we just reconnected after a while of not talking. And it was like, let's not play with this shit. We know that we're for each other. You know, I don't want to waste time. And like, I really value this person. And so we just got serious with it. But we've always known we loved each other. And there's always been that element. But I say best friend because that's just really how we are. Like, that's my favorite person to kick it with, talk to, all that.
And a few more questions winding down here. What attracted you to her?
I mean, there's so many things about her that are attractive. Like, she's beautiful. She's got a great spirit about her. She's kind of all these things. But I think that the element, I don't know, the type of connection we have, the thing that draws you to each other is like almost beyond understanding, you know. There's just something like when we see each other for the first time and we know something's there, and when we have this draw between us, it's something that it's like one of those things that makes me believe in God or believe in, you know, the interconnectedness of the universe, shit like that, because it's so beyond my understanding, you know. It's like, yeah, she has all the things on paper that I love, but it's something beyond that just has always made us feel connected, you know.
Would you use the phrase soulmate?
100%, yeah. You know, I know that I'm sure people play that term out on the internet, but we really do feel like we're soulmates. Like, and we've always felt like that, and we've just had all sorts of things and connectedness, even when we weren't communicating, that to us are just hard to explain and understand, and we just know that what we got is bigger than, you know, us.
Now, with your memory, which may be foggy, don't know if you can answer these sets of questions here, but can you describe what that first date with her was like?
The first time we hung out, I'll try to keep it, you know, PG. First time we hung out, we left that video shoot and we like went to a strip club, which was funny. It was just a group of us. But we've always just like kicked it. It wasn't like, we weren't like courting each other like that at that time. We were just young kids that would hang out and, you know, bask in each other's presence. It wasn't like I was like taking her to a restaurant. I did more courting this time of reconnecting, you know, just to express how serious I was about being with her. But it just always felt like us kicking it, you know?
Who said I love you first?
Oh, me, 100%. You know, we always joke about this. We joke about this because I've told her that I loved her for a long time, and she jokes about me not making it clear that I like loved her in that way. Like, she always just makes the joke of like, well, you said you loved me, but like you could have meant like a friend or something. You know, it's kind of an ongoing joke with us, but 100% me.
And care to share her occupation?
She's well, she calls herself a witch. I love that title, but you know, I think it gets that title makes people think of lots of different things, but her main profession is she's a tarot reader. She reads people. She's extremely gifted at what she does. She's just a special person that has this special insight into what people are going through. So I tell her all the time she's like a therapist, you know. But she's really good at what she does. She's booked out for months at a time.
Not in the music industry at all.
Not in the music industry at all.
Does she play a role or position within your music? Like, is there a unsaid position for her maybe that
No,
okay,
I mean,
she's not in the music industry but plays a role?
Yeah,
like,
no, I mean, like when you're getting married to somebody and you're married to somebody, I think there's all these ways that you just overlap and help each other. Like, you know, we help each other with stuff all the time, but I think we both kind of like have these things that are totally different, so we get to just be observers of each other's like in our element, which is cool.
And speaking of music, final questions about her. Have you mentioned her in your music?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I definitely mentioned having a woman. I have a bunch of songs that haven't come out yet that are like for this project I was working on in the future called Music to Live To. Because a couple years ago I dropped this project called Music to Die To. It was like I was in this really weird, dark time in my life, and there's records on there that are just about the pain that I was going through, some kind of about her and I disconnecting at the time. And I always knew in the future I wanted to drop a project called Music to Live To, but it had to come about in a time where I was really inspired to live and to love and things like that. And so they're more stripped down records. They're like piano based and guitar based, but I have like full on love songs like that in the cut.
Do you recall the name of that song that you're referencing?
The old one?
Yes.
It's a song called Energy from Saturn. Yeah. And the new one that is the rekindling love song is called Married by the Water. I'm probably going to put that out after our wedding day.
And final question about her. You have a variety of tattoos on your body. Are any of those in reference to her?
Nope. Nope. I mean, I'm probably gonna get a fucking big one of her somewhere, but my tattoos are always kind of just like abstract, and anything that I've gotten that's too literal, I end up covering up anyway. Like I even have a portrait of my dad that I'm gonna cover up because most of the things on my body are like references to God and stuff like that. So.
And speaking of God, do you follow religion by any chance?
I don't. So like I'm fascinated with religions. I studied world religions in the one semester I did go to college. Most of the tattoos on my body are kind of references to different cultures and how they reach to God. So I'm fascinated by religion. I don't necessarily view it as like a net negative, because I think there are a lot of things about religion that are incorrect and that people bypass when they refer to them as absolute. But like I didn't necessarily grow up in the church, but like in middle school I actually found my way into church by myself. My parents didn't even go like that. I ended up joining this church and this youth group, and so I was there for a little while. But at some point in my life I started smoking weed, and the church kind of wanted to kick me out because I was walking a different path, I guess. But I've always just felt this calling to God. I know there's something bigger. Even the word God sometimes makes people feel uncomfortable, but if you want to call it the universe or spirit or whatever, I just know that there's something so big and vast and beyond our understanding, and I've always felt kindred to that and connected to that. And so I honor lots of deities from religions. Like I think Jesus is amazing. I think he's just as amazing as Buddha or Lord Shiva. And so, I use all of these things as avenues to spirit. That's something that my wife is like super knowledgeable on and always kind of helps me refine my path. She's really good at humanizing spirituality, because a lot of times we make it this thing that's like unattainable or abstract.
That church that you're referencing way back when, was that a particular branch under Christianity at the time?
Yeah, it was at the time I didn't even understand. I still don't really know what the difference is. It was a Methodist church. It was called Tuscaloosa United Methodist. I don't mean to say anything bad about them, because they were great people, and they provided me a safe haven like at a time where I really needed it. I was just going through a lot of fucked up shit in my home life, and so I enjoyed church and people's positivity, and I enjoyed thinking about things that were beyond just the physical plane, and so that was really great, but at the end of the day it wasn't an exact fit for me.
And just for reference, care to share the name of the middle school you attended at the time and the college as well?
Yeah, I attended Indian Trails Middle School. It's funny, in a song I just dropped called Dixie, I said, burnt like sage, but I wasn't on an Indian trail. It's a reference to my middle school, in case nobody caught that. I went to Winter Springs High School, and then I did like 1 or 2 semesters at this community college called Valencia, just because I had a scholarship from having a good SAT score, and my mom really wanted me to go to college, but it just wasn't a fit for me. And so at some point I dropped out of there and like didn't attend my finals. And yeah, good decision. I got signed to Cash Money 6 months after I left college. So